Hi everyone, today we're going to be making gnocchi. Now there's no need to panic. I know it can be a little bit intimidating, but with a few tips and a little bit of practice, you'll be able to make them too. Starting with potatoes. Now there's some controversy over this. Which one is the best to use? I like to use these medium-sized waxy potatoes, but you can use russet potatoes also. So I have here 1 kilo of potatoes. You want to boil them until just tender. So you don't want to overboil them because what will happen is all that extra water will get into the potato and make the potato watery, and we want the potatoes to be nice and dry. So once your potatoes are boiled, you're going to peel off the skin. I prefer to use a serrated knife over a peeler because you really just want to take that top layer of skin off, and I find a vegetable peeler takes off too much of the flesh. Now we're going to rice the potatoes. So I highly recommend using a ricer. What it's going to do is it's going to aerate the potatoes and keep them nice and light and fluffy. So that is the key to a perfect gnocchis. You want everything to be light and fluffy and dry. Now that the potatoes are riced, we're gonna add in our flour. So this is where ratios come in handy. So to 1 kilo of potatoes, I'm adding 100 grams of flour. Now you can use 00 flour or all-purpose flour. And I highly recommend using a scale here so it's really accurate. We're going to add 2 eggs to the mixture, and we're only going to be using the yolks. To separate eggs, I like to use my fingers just to pass the yolks gently through. I find it's a lot easier than separating them with the egg shells. There, nice little yolk right on top. We're going to mix this all together, and I like to use my fingertips. And you really want to mix it until it can just hold its shape. You do not want to overmix it. This is a mistake lots of people make. If you overmix it, you're going to get a tough gnocchi. So this looks perfect. It's just coming together. Now we're going to transfer it to our cutting board. Just going to flip that over. So it's okay if you have some little rogue pieces in there. So we're just gonna finish those last few turns. Okay, so now this has come together really nicely. You can see the little pieces of yolk and flour in there. That's totally fine. At this point, we're gonna cut off a piece of this dough. So we wanna work with small pieces at a time. And that is actually what you wanna see. You wanna see those pieces of potato in there. From this point, we're going to roll them into logs. You can use a little bit of flour, but again, not too much. From here, we're gonna cut the gnocchi into pieces. So you can flour your knife so that the gnocchi doesn't stick to it. What you wanna do is you wanna cut it in half. And then to get uniform pieces, you're gonna cut them side by side. So just little notches, so you're looking for about that size. And as they are, you can put these into boiling water and cook them, and they'll be delicious. Or you can get a little bit fancy and use one of these gnocchi boards. So what you do is you run the gnocchi right down the board, and you're left with these really, really beautiful, subtle grooves. So when the sauce gets in there, it's gonna really stick on it. It does make it a lot better. Or you can use a fork. So to use a fork, you're putting the gnocchi on top, and then you're rolling and pushing at the same time. To test to make sure your gnocchi won't fall apart, put one into boiling water and see if it holds its shape. That's looking perfect. So now we can go in with the rest. The best way to transfer these gnocchi into the boiling water is to put them on a slotted spoon like so, and then just gently dip them in. You do want to go quite quickly because you want them all to cook at the same time. These are only going to take about 2 minutes. So now these are floated to the top, they're ready to go. They look really good. You know what this goes really well with? My braised short rib ragu. Thanks for watching.